My name's Kevin Kukar. I am the Chief Creative Officer of Full Sail Media. I'm sitting here with my new best friend and colleague, Nelson Anderson. You can introduce yourself.
Hey, yeah, I'm Nelson Anderson, and I think I'm the founder of Full Sail Media. So we've been working together for a couple months here, and we're excited to do our first ever podcast.
This is the very first one.
Yeah, so we'll see how it goes.
All right.
What are we going to talk about today, Kevin?
I think we're going to talk about 2022 because
What happened to 2021?
It's over, just like a light. It's done.
Gone.
Marketing strategy for small and medium sized businesses for 2022.
I think we should talk about the most important item in their marketing strategy for 2022.
Okay.
Which is video.
I think that sound engineer could have actually made the drum sound for us. They've got buttons for that, but we missed out on the opportunity.
That's why I don't do the video editing.
Oh, well, okay. So video for 2022.
Yeah.
Okay.
Video for 2022. I think it's a necessary piece for all small, medium-sized businesses to have in their marketing lineup.
When we say small and medium-sized businesses, not that not everybody knows what they have, but what do you think that means when you say small and medium-sized businesses? What are we talking about?
So I would say a small business is 1 to 50 people, and a medium-sized business is 50 to 200.
Okay.
That's what I think of when I think of small, medium-sized business.
And we're talking about marketing for those size companies. Is that something that's traditionally done in-house? Is that something that's done outhouse? I don't think you should say outhouse, but is it something
out of house?
Are they doing it in-house? Or are they doing it out of house?
So what I find is typically the owner from 1 to 10 employees is the marketing person, right? And then at about 10 employees plus, I mean, I'm using, basic numbers, broad strokes, right? And then as about 10 plus, somebody else gets involved, either an office manager, a general manager, or sometimes a marketing company. I mean, a marketing person. But then at the 50 plus, there's usually always a dedicated marketing director, somebody in charge of it. But I would say video is hardly ever done from an in-house team. They're managing it, but they are not creating it.
Right. So video is a part of a big holistic campaign or big holistic bag of tools and bag of tricks that people are bringing out for their marketing. It's right. One trick in the repertoire of things to be doing. How do small and medium businesses, and this is just a question I'm asking because I don't know the answer.
Yeah.
How do they start to figure out what to do in marketing? Where do they begin that roadmap when they're like, okay, I've got to start marketing my company now? And so they go on social media, they start doing posting, they start doing, what does it look like? What do you think?
I think, that's a really good question. I think where most have a false start, if you will, is they don't, they know what they do well, but they don't know the problem they solve, right? So I think like getting that down on paper, like as simple as that sounds, is actually writing down like what problem that they solve. That's like step one. And so many of them are like, well, I do this. I'm a plumber. Okay, well, there's thousands of plumbers. What problem do you solve?
Right.
Like, what makes you different than anybody else, any other plumber? And in a lot of cases, these companies have been formed and they get traction because they're doing something different. They just don't know what it is.
Got it.
Yeah.
So then you start marketing, you make people aware of the problem that you solve, and then you jump into, let's say, tactics. You jump into like direct mail, you jump into social media, you jump into digital advertising, right?
Yeah.
So where does video come into all that?
Video, where I see as a good first step, is telling your story, right? Is saying, your origin story. You like to refer to it as your ethos. I love that name. Love that word.
I think it's a bottle of water.
Yeah, it probably is. Yeah. Or some crazy shampoo.
Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, I think that's a great beginning point, is like, for the most part, when you sit down and talk to any business owner, they have this incredible story of how they got started and why they exist. And it's like every time I hear one, it's different and it's fascinating. Like there's some common threads, but the actual story itself, like it gets my heart racing every time, because it's like, it's how this baby was birthed, right? And it's a living, breathing organism. So I think that's like the first good step for any company, just to say, hey, I exist because of this, and do it in video, so that, like, they say,
Well, that's what I was going to ask is like, how is it that if you're telling your origin story, you're telling your ethos, why is video a better medium? Do you suppose that video is a better medium or a format for doing that than just copy or, SEO writing or just imagery, photos? Why do you think video does a better job?
The simple saying of a picture's worth 1,000 words.
Then a moving picture is worth a lot more.
A million. Exactly right. That's what I've always gone to.
Right.
Is, being able to, there's something about body language. There's something about, being able to not just show a picture, but, or a written word, but to express where you've come from the owner. And I think that's why it's so important to have them star in their own video.
Sure.
It's that personal connection. And we deal in the small, medium business, that owner is still active in the company. That's, they are the heart and soul of the company. So that's why I love working with them, right? It means something.
Right. So we've got all kinds of videos, right? When you say video, it's like a term that encapsulates tons of different kinds of video. There's testimonial videos, there's narrative videos, there's commercials for TV, there's social media videos, the list goes on and on and on.
Yeah.
I wonder when small and medium businesses start talking about doing video as part of their campaign or stepping out into making video, how do you think they're going to choose what kind of videos to make?
That's a good question. How do you think they will
Who should they ask that question to, do you think?
Oh, I know a guy. He's the chief creative officer at Full Sail Media.
That's a good setup. Thank you for that. I really appreciate it. But I mean, really, if I'm a small and medium business size operator and I know that I want to step into doing video,
right?
I feel like if I have no experience in that, I'm going to have to find an agency or I'm going to have to find somebody, even a guy with a camera,
right,
to have a conversation with about the kind of video that I'm going to make.
Of course.
I know that testimonial videos are a great place for businesses to start because it's looking at it's giving a review in telling a story about the company from a customer's perspective.
Yeah.
That's a great place to start.
It is.
Other people choose to do broadcast commercials where they're doing 15 seconds or they're doing 30-second spot to create a commercial that they might actually broadcast. Either they're distributing it in social media, they're distributing it on cable. They're using cable. I wonder though, where people, what's the distribution channel that people should be looking at for 2022 for video? What do you think?
Sure. I'm going to go one step back and say that I think that one piece of video can be created and then broken out into several different
100%.
segments, right? So if we're shooting a 2-minute video, then we can take 15-second clips, and then the distribution channel is vast, right? Obviously, social media, Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, and YouTube. Running pre-roll clips on YouTube. That's a very popular avenue for distribution. Definitely.
I think the first point you made in this conversation was becoming solution aware. Well, problem aware or solution aware.
Yeah.
And yet, from the customers and clients that we serve on a daily basis, how many of them do you think are doing video right now? At all or even well? Just how many people have stepped into that area?
15-20%.
Right. And I read an article not that long ago that said that something like 80% of online traffic is expected to be in video format by the end of 2023. 80% of posting and conversations are expected to move from writing or photo into video. I wonder what the challenges are going to be to get people to take a chance at stepping into their first video and making content for online. I don't have the answer to the question, but I'm interested in what you think about how do you get a customer to see the value of doing video for the first time?
Well, I think showing them facts like you just stated of where the market is going and where it's about their buyers' attention, right? Mm-hmm. So where is the attention going? The attention's going to video. So at some point you're going to need to show up in that arena. Mm-hmm. And I think the majority of people are not doing it because they don't understand it, right? They don't know how to get started, and they don't want to put their face on camera.
Well, it's intimidating.
It is.
How do you feel doing it?
You know exactly how I feel doing it because the first time that we sat in the studio and shot my very first video for a merger that we did about a year ago, it was the most nerve-wracking experience I ever had. But because of you and the crew, so I wasn't afraid any longer of the red light on the camera, which freaked me out every time it came on. And I just had to get into a natural conversation.
Right.
And, I think with anyone, it's just, come across as you, be you, do you. That's why people are doing business with you.
Fantastic. So what do you tell people that say, I can't do video because I can't afford to do video?
Suck it up.
Suck it up, Buttercup.
I think it's, there's a lot of stats around what I should spend on my marketing and what I should do. And for the most part, what I see people that should be spending on their marketing is anywhere between 5% and 15% of revenue.
Got it.
And that really depends on what kind of business it is.
Right.
Are you a, you could be a reseller, only making a small percentage off what. So you have to put that within reason. However, that's a really good rule of thumb, 5% to 15%. And I think it just needs to be in the budget, and what we find is a lot of small business, maybe not medium-sized business, do not have a budget. So maybe that's step one is
creating one.
Is creating a budget and working this into your 2022 budget as a line item, because that's where the attention is going.
Yeah, absolutely.
So make it a priority, just like we make rent a priority.
Right.
We need to market our businesses so we don't have to worry about the rent.
Okay. Absolutely. If you were going to make any kind of video today, for your business, what kind of videos do you think that you'd be stepping in to make for Full Sail?
I would. My next step, I think, for Full Sail is, we serve the small, medium-sized business. There's some companies that are too small that we can't help. I would say my next hope would be that we would do some how-to videos to help some of the smaller businesses reach up and help them grow.
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
So some how-to videos on some basics, so they can do what they do, and we can help them, tinker around in the marketing world, and then they remember us, right?
Absolutely. And what is Full Sail looking forward to for 2022?
For 2022, extreme growth.
Nice.
That's what I'm hoping to be able to impact 100 businesses in the year 2022, help them grow.
How are we going to get businesses to take a leap of faith and start doing video for the first time?
We're going to give it away for free, Kevin.
No.
The first 5 people that come right now, they get a free. Scott authorized that.
We're jumping off the rails here. No, but seriously, a lot of businesses, we just talked about it, the stats are headed in that direction where video is going to be a massive part of what people are doing in social media, and that small and medium-sized businesses should run after it. But there's this, I've never done it before. I don't know how to do it. I'm going to partner with an agency for the first time. What are we going to do as a company to entice people to taking that risk for the first time?
I would say that we would show them our process.
Okay.
We have a very easy, approachable process that we can walk people through and show them how easy it actually is. And we hold their hands from the start to the end. So it's super approachable. The price isn't crazy. And the process, we make it painless.
All right. We make it painless. Hashtag 2022.
2022.
Looking forward
Get
to
your video out.
All right. Not bad job for the first podcast.
Hey, Kevin, thank you so much.
Hey, I had a good time.
A lot of fun.
You're natural. I know you mentioned that first time you were on camera, but you took this one and ran with it. It was
thanks,
a great job.
Appreciate that.
Anybody watching, if you have a name for a podcast for 2 entrepreneurial guys, we're going to be doing this every once in a while, putting together content, and we are looking for a name of a podcast. So put it in the comments section for us, and do us a favor and subscribe. Check it out.
Definitely. Thanks, guys.